This is Jackie, and I'm here with Sean Patton on day 3 of our very warm Bonnaroo. How you doing so far?
Good. So well that I didn't realize it was already day 3. Today it's bled into just one continuous day, even though it's mostly been at night too.
So how does comedy fit into Bonnaroo that's traditionally a music festival?
Well, ingeniously enough, they do it in an air-conditioned tent.
Amen for that.
Exactly. And people come into the show and they realize they don't want to get thrown out of the show back into the heat. They want to stay in the air condition, and they'll do whatever is necessary, so they'll laugh and be amazing audience members to stay in that air condition.
You have a captive audience. That's genius.
Exactly. So they stay and stick around, but it works wonderful. I mean, it truly is. If you've ever been to a fest like this, you know the idea of getting to go watch a show for an hour and a half where you sit down in AC and just get to laugh. There's so many great comedians. It's a much-needed break from the muck and the mire of seeing band after band after band and eating burritos and more burritos. I think everything's a burrito. I think that's all they serve here is burritos.
Ain't nothing wrong with a burrito.
You're right. Now I said that out loud, and then I was like, wait, what am I complaining about? Yeah, sorry. There you go. The heat makes you complain about the wrong shit.
Yeah, can't complain about a burrito. So what are some comedians and some artists that you're excited to see here?
Last night I got to see LCD Sound System for my first time, and it was, can I swear?
Sure.
Fucking great. I mean, I've been a fan of theirs for a while. I've never seen them live, and they were just blew me away. Churches, who I knew. I have friends who are huge fans. My girlfriend's a huge fan. I liked their songs, but they were impeccably amazing live. I was blown away.
Did you see Haley from Paramore?
Haley from Paramore, and they were so fucking badass together. I mean, it was really a mind-blowing show, and it was early. It was like still daylight out, and it was, but they still, there's something about seeing music at night to me that like the lights and but still during the day they still were just up there, mind-blowingly great. Leon Bridges was amazing. I'd never even heard of him. Now, yeah, he's like a 50s style Memphis blues guy. It's great. Truth be told, tonight I am very excited to see Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam was my first concert in the 90s when I was in high school. And now, again, but I got this, which means I can go backstage. So, nice. I'm fucking amped about that. I'm going to try and be completely calm and cool and just like, hey, good job. Good job, guys. 10 was the first album I ever owned. Bought it. Waited in line to get concerts to your tour when you were the Fuck Ticketmaster tour. Called the number that you had to call up when do you remember that? Yes. You had to get a number off.
I'm old enough to remember that as well.
You remember that?
Yes.
Yeah. It was no internet yet. In order to get tickets to Pearl Jam in the 90s, you had to wait on watching MTV till a number scrolled across the bottom. Then you called that number, and then you were on hold forever to get tickets.
Back in our day, we went to concerts via telephone.
Did you ever camp out for tickets?
No, I wasn't that cool. When I was younger, I didn't get to see that many good shows, but I think concert goers now don't get to really appreciate the struggle.
Exactly.
The struggle was really real back then.
It was if you had to prove you wanted to go see a concert by camping out to get good tickets, by somehow having a fake ID, to be able to get in and drink. We didn't have all the fancy drugs, you guys. We had to snort and shoot everything. Maybe not that far. That's how I justified my heroin addiction in the 90s. But yeah, but comedy-wise, I've seen so many, Dan Soder, Ari Shaffir, Beth Stelling, Bridget Everett. They're all amazing. You still got Judd Apatow and friends. So it's like he's already Judd Apatow, and now he's bringing his friends. Who are his friends? They don't tell you. You just got to go see. And it's amazing. It's amazing.
Have you gotten a chance to walk around the entire festival yet?
I have traversed all 700 acres.
So there's lots of good, I'm sure, comedic fodder, just people watching.
There's comedic fodder, and then there's just things that make you question people.
Humanity.
Like something about the sun brings out the best and worst in people, both olfactory and otherwise.
And what they put on their bodies or don't put on their bodies.
Exactly. Or what they're putting into their bodies while they're standing at 2 p.m. in Tennessee in June. What they're just fucking munching down on what looks like fried chicken and drinking what you could tell is hot beer. and just loving life. And it's crazy because I feel like this festival really is the litmus test for if you are meant to survive the apocalypse. You know what I mean? Like if it happens.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah, I'm saying if there's a chance. Like, can you deal with it? Can you sleep in a tent for 3 days next to other people sleeping in a tent on a myriad of drugs and substances? And there's sex going. You're hearing
So many Bonnaroo babies being made.
Oh God, so many named after whatever band they just saw. Why am I named J. Cole? Well, it was a good performance. But Bonnaroo is definitely, it pushes fans, I think, to the limit of their fandom. And I feel like people will come here and either by the end of this be like, I hate music, I hate comedy, I hate arts, fuck that. Or they leave here and they're like, I am one of them, I'm one of you. We were in this together. This was this organism known as Bonnaroo. And we survived it,
It's a badge of honor.
It's a goddamn, yeah.
Something I'm not sure we can or will survive is the election coming up.
Yeah.
Comedy-wise, who do you want to win because it will provide with more material for you?
Now, here's the thing is, I was an avid Bernie supporter. However, I'm not one of these Bernie supporters who's not going to vote now because Bernie. I will vote for Hillary because I want there to still be a country for me to perform in 3 or 4 years. Like the idea of voting for Trump for comedy fodder, it's like, fuck you, man. If that's the only thing you can write jokes about is our country being systematically destroyed, do something else. Like I'll find other places for humor because that means that there's still a country happening where humorous things are able to be plucked from. So yeah, I'm 100% voting for Hillary, even though I don't like her. I don't necessarily agree with her politics. I don't necessarily agree with her, but I would rather her by far and over Trump and over a lot of, in fact, her over any Republican candidate, 100% Hillary. So yes, I'm voting for Hillary.
It's sad we've gotten to the point where it's the lesser of the evils. That's who we're left with.
It is the lesser of the evils. There is the thing though, even though like I said, I don't 100% agree with Hillary, I do think there is a less of an evil to her. You know what I mean? Like it's between the two evils, and then with her there's just a little bit less evil than the normal amount of evil that would be there. Like Obama, I think Obama is the least evil president in our history.
Can't we just change history and bring him back for a third term? We'd be in so much better shape.
One more, Barack. We know he's funny now. You know what I mean? We know it'll be interesting again.
I mean, they did it with Roosevelt. He had a third term. We need an Obama mic drop, pick it back up, do it again.
You know what? Technically, there's never been a black president serving a third term. Make history twice, why don't you?
Just break all the rules.
Hi, that's Alice Wetterland. Yeah, Alice is a comedian on the tent. Alice,
Hi,
say hello.
how are
This
ya?
is the Key of Change.
Hey, Key.
Yeah.
Change?
And,
It's going fine, we're just trying to change things.
Socks, at least, at this point.
She was on something and it just kicked in right then at that moment. I think you see a lot of that if you walk around and pay enough attention to people at Bonnaroo. You see that moment where they're like, that Molly just took effect, did it not?
Yeah. Just kicked in.
But yeah, I really, this is, I remember 8 years ago, electing Obama was very important. I feel like this election is 5 times more important. 5 to 10 times more important.
But a whole lot more blurry. I feel like 8 years ago it was pretty clear. This time, not so much.
Well, here's the thing, though. 8 years ago, if McCain would have won, I don't think we would have been like, fuck, it would have been like, oh, shit, that sucks. But, okay, this guy, a war hero, maybe he knows what's up. You know what I mean? Like, this is more of like if Hillary doesn't win, oh, God, Oh, and you know what's worse is, not worse, but I was just in London for the past month. They're far more terrified of Trump than we are. Like, we at least, I guess, live in this, I guess they think, well, if he goes crazy and tries to destroy the world, his own people will be who he destroys last. I guess that's how they're thinking when they're thinking abroad. But yeah, they're more concerned than we are. I kind of wish the rest of the world could vote for our president, too. Because just on those grounds, we'd be okay.
So So other countries are worried for us. That's kind of scary. So what's up next for you? I can't even segue from Trump.
I know, right?
From Trump. How do you segue from Trump ending the world? You really can't.
That's why this is called the key of change.
There we go. Change things back up.
Change to more a lighter side.
Yeah, let's go back to comedy.
All right, indeed.
When did you go from being
Matt Besser, how are you, bud?
When did you go from being a funny person to being someone who's funny professionally?
Wow, it happens. I dropped out of college and then just said, fuck it, I'm going to do it, and never looked back. And it's hard, and it was hard then, it's hard. It never gets easier, you just get better at it, if that makes sense, and it should. But you just sort of do it, and eventually, you start doing it professionally. You do it for a while, amateurly, and you got to prove that you're good. Then once you're good, you're now a professional, and then once you're a professional, you got to get better to stay professional, because everyone around you is just as good, if not better, and so you've got to get better. And it's a never-ending. I think the whole goal of being any sort of artist is to always be climbing, never finding a peak. Every time you get to a moment where you feel like, aha, I'm here, you go, wait, but there's more. I can go higher. So that's kind of the journey.
So what happens in the journey as you're climbing if a joke doesn't go well? How do you recover? Do you just sort of say, all right, I fucked up, let's move on, or do you try to cover it up, or how do you deal?
Well, I think if anyone wants to know what it feels like to tell a joke and it bombs, I would say run full speed. No, ride a bike, full speed on concrete, and then at a certain point, put your arms in the air and your head back and close your eyes and just coast. What's going to happen is you're going to fall, and it's going to hurt real bad. Take that physical pain and put it into your heart and into your mind. That's what it feels like, because you were riding this bike and the audience is the bike and you're riding it and you trusted it to guide you the whole way, and you let go and now you're in physical pain, maybe with broken limbs, and that all happens inside of your heart and inside of your head in a moment. And what do? You recover. You get back on the bike. You're fucking riding it. Where are you? You can't walk back. You're now 13. You've been riding for miles.
And you can't walk off stage.
You can't walk. You can't just, that didn't work, bye. No, you got to get back on the fucking bike and keep going. There's more trail. I mean, it's one of the, it's a moment of, because every comedian thinks everything they think is funny while also thinking that nothing they think is funny. So it's already a constant battle with yourself to convince yourself that an idea you believe in is actually good. And then now it's about convincing a never-ending ocean of strangers the same. So it's difficult, but it happens, and you just gotta let it happen, and then stand up. It's way more dramatic than it sounds. But you just gotta stand back up and face the fire, for it will only burn you if you allow it to. That sort of thing,
Kind of like the sun right now.
Yeah, exactly.
What's up next for you after Bonnaroo and all this heat?
I will be recording an hour special later this year. Location to be determined, but follow me on SeanOliverPatton.com. That sort of information will come out. And yeah, there's a ton of stuff that I don't want to say because I'm afraid of jinxing it all. But yes, things are definitely.
You can't walk off that stage.
You can't walk off that stage. That's going to come out. Trying to make a TV show happen this year. About an improv group in New Orleans, because that's where I'm from and that's where I started. And just consistently trying to create comedy that is better than the comedy that I created yesterday, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Keeps on going. Stay tuned for much more from Sean Patton. This is Jackie. Thanks to In the Key of Change and Chorus.fm.